Welcome back to the 393 Legacy, a Gorilla podcast. We're back at it another week. The calendar has switched. We are in November, and boy, did we get hit with a little bit of cool weather and rainy weather. We've needed it, so it's great, though. And it's we've got Mr. Andrew Gray with us today on the podcast, and we will welcome him to the podcast in one moment. But we've got a few calendar updates and changes, so take out a pencil or a pen and make sure you jot down these updates and check the social media for some of these things that are maybe been moved around. And so let's start by High School Scholars Bowl kicks off next week, but not on Monday. They've actually moved that. Harrington has had they've sort of double booked that night, so it's actually going to be on Thursday the 14th. They'll travel down to Harrington to open up Scholars Bowl. It's buffer week, which means no sports practices at the high school level at all. Only junior high can practice, and so all the student athletes have the week off, which is great because at the end of the week we will get a chance to hear our theater kids and putting on the play You Can't Take It. Oh my goodness, You Can't Take It. Help me out. Say that again. You Can't Take It With You. See, I knew I'd forget. I can't read my own writing. So You Can't Take It With You, and they're going to perform on Friday and Saturday night at 7 p.m. It is free. Come out and support the kids. They've done an amazing job. They're building the sets. They are in crunch time, as they say. So not very many days left, but they're going to be ready to go on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. It also says on your calendar that on the 11th is a home junior high basketball game. That is not true. It is not a home junior high basketball game. It has actually been moved to a later date, so that was published wrong on the calendar, and so we apologize for that. So once again, check the social media, subscribe to all the calendars, because anytime there's an update, it'll automatically update you. So I think that's got the week covered a little bit. One more thing, I guess on Tuesday we have the high school sports banquet celebrating all of our fall sports. Our cross country, who went to state and did great in the rain, a few slips and falls, but they did awesome representing Solomon, and we will celebrate their success as well as the football success and the volleyball success. And so we'll do that next Tuesday here, and look forward to celebrating the fall sports season. So with that, we want to welcome Mr. Andrew Gray to the podcast. Welcome, Andrew.
Hey, you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and anything else you'd like to share with the listeners.
Like you said, my name's Andrew Gray. My mom is Brandy. My dad is Sean. I have two brothers, Ryan and Jordan. Jordan's a 8th grader here, and Ryan is graduated alumni from Solomon, and he's living out in Manhattan right now.
Well, awesome. And mom and dad both are graduates.
They are, yeah.
Okay, so that's right. We've got a family of gorillas, which is awesome. So we talked a little bit before. What's the future hold for you? Before we came on the air, what's the future hold for you, and what you going to do next year?
So what my plan is so far is I plan on going to UNK in Nebraska, and I'm going to major in industrial distribution, which is basically sales with a background in mechanics.
Okay, now for the listeners that don't know what UNK is, I know what it is, but what is UNK?
It's University of Nebraska in Kearney, because there's that other one in Lincoln.
So
Lincoln.
the University of Nebraska is throughout Nebraska, and so it's all tied to one university, and then they outsource all of it to Kearney or to wherever it might be at. So yeah, so that's great. That's what drew you to Kearney, Nebraska.
Well, there's so many reasons that bring me to there. My dad lives with two graduates from UNK that are doing very successful right now. And then I also have family that went up there, and a couple of family members that live in there. So I have alumni throughout many places from there.
Cool. They are huge rivals, if you don't know it, with Fort Hays State University.
Yeah.
I know when my wife is at Fort Hays, that was one of the nights that the gym was rocking for sure. So that'll be a fun experience for you. So as you get to your senior year, we always talk about on the podcast, people to give shout outs to and teachers who've influenced you. Any shout outs you'd like to mention?
I mean, as you know, I've only gone to Solomon for about, I think, was it 7 years? So I still had some decent time, but I also had a lot of time in Topeka as well.
Sure. Well, you got teachers there, so give them a shout out as well. Any teacher that's had an impact.
My favorite teacher I've ever had is my 6th grade and was also turned my 8th grade teacher, Mrs. Carlson. and she probably won't see this, which just kind of sucks. But
oh, you don't know that the power of social media and the power of the person behind the camera there, she can make some magic work. So, what made her so special?
I don't know. I guess what kind of helped is she always taught my favorite class, which was math, and she was always so nice. I don't know. Just
cool.
Her attitude, I guess.
Cool. So you talked about the field of study that you're going to go into at UNK. What drew you to that field?
Besides the fact that they tend to make a lot of money, is the fact that I like to talk. So I feel like sales would be in my expertise. And
sure.
Also, with the background in mechanics, I like the intricate part of things. So that's what draws me to math, because math used to be my favorite class.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. It used to be your favorite class. Not your favorite class anymore. What's your favorite class?
It's because I don't have a math class. That's why.
Oh, that's why.
Favorite class right now is definitely physics. We build a lot of cool stuff in there right now.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about the other class you're involved in. Not here, but CEO Dickinson County.
Yeah, CEO. I love it. It's amazing. So what we're doing right now is we're on a class business, and it's not official yet. I don't know if I should talk about that, but we're planning a event where we're gonna have a murder mystery, and we're getting in the weeds right now. But thinking about having some food and whatnot, and I was voted CEO or co-CEO with my partner Abigail of the class, which is actually pretty cool.
Right. That's awesome. That's a great honor. And so, yeah, I know it's not finalized yet from what I've heard from a few of the board members, but you're getting closer and closer.
Yeah. There's a lot of yelling this morning as well.
That's part of business, as they say. So it's that real life experience, as you might say. Memorable memories, shifting gears. And so any memories you'd like to share with the listeners about your time here at Solomon?
Well, there's always like fun times I've had in class. Like one that stuck out is in sophomore year. I was in my online Spanish class with Spencer Krause and Evan Thompson, and there was never a dull day in that class. So we sat next to each other, and it was always a fun to class.
Most of those memories center around relationships with others, and everybody who sits at the couch per se, that's sort of what they've alluded to, are those that have had memories that have involved usually other people here at Solomon. So, as you, how many days left? I always ask this every time. Is there any countdown clock? Do you know how many days until you walk across stage?
I couldn't tell you.
Good. Not yet. We're not to Christmas yet. Let's get to Christmas first. But as we do that, you talked about Jordan, and as he transitions to high school, any words of wisdom for him, or any eighth grader for that matter?
Just I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I would say be yourself, but there's some times where you need to adjust your personality due to the situation. So I don't know. It's weird. My mom always compares me to chameleon because I can always adjust to different situations, and so I would just try to be a chameleon, as my mom would say.
Well, I think that's part of being a good salesman. It's in your future. You got to be able to read the room and make the proper adjustments. So that's wise words from your mother. Wise words for Jordan to live by, and others that are starting their high school career. When you walk across the stage, what's going to be the one moment in your high school career that you're maybe the most proud of when you walk across?
Proud of? Academically?
Anything.
It'd probably... I think I'm nearing close to almost... I think I will be a sophomore due to credits when I get into college. So I say that's pretty something to be proud of. And had fun. I guess. It was
Good.
enjoyable 4 years.
How many college credits? Probably 27, 28, somewhere in there. 29?
I think I'll be 29. It's 29.
29. I think that's what most of them have. Take all the max here. He's usually around 29. That's a great thing. That's a huge financial burden, a little bit relieved as well. But get you a great start. If you want to get done in 3, you can. If not, you can do the 4-year plan or whatever it takes per se.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. That's great. Anything else for the listeners out there as we near the end of the podcast?
Nothing. Actually, well, I had another story. It was
Sure.
another memorable.
Of course.
So it was. I didn't stay with it long, but I did do FBLA for 1 year.
Perfect.
And we were delivering presents to like people all over the town.
Yeah.
And it was me and Aiden Shepard delivered one to a resident down at Heritage Manor. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was the nicest thing I think I've ever received. They had a thank you card, and it was like what they said was like some along the lines of like they didn't expect any presents this year and blah blah blah. Like how they're like don't receive any, and it's made me so sad. So that was just fun moments.
You teed me up perfectly, so I appreciate it. This is my favorite month of the year because it leads into December, but I like November more than December because of what you just said. It's truly that letter meant so much to you and had an impact on you because
I still have it, by the way.
Yeah,
it's in my car.
They said thank you in a genuine way, which is not heard of today, and so the genuine thankful that you gave them something. And so I love it. I love the fact that we do. We've got one person who wrote us an email talking about things that are coming up on our calendar here at the school. Is the everybody loves it. That's not true at the high school level, but the raking of the leaves. But we have one person who took one of their paychecks and went out and bought gloves for everybody. And so that way they have gloves. And I'm sitting there going, wow, because they found it so impactful. We've heard another person from several states away that was reading about Operation Guerrilla Family. And they're making something for every single person for Operation Guerrilla Family. Not even tied to our community, but read about our impact that we're having locally. And so that's awesome. And that's awesome to hear that you received that and the feeling that it gave you,
That's pretty nice.
Hopefully you can pay that forward. That's the idea that we're trying to do is hopefully pay it forward. Raking leaves when they're wet and nasty like it is out here today, it's not always the most fun, but there's also some fun memories, I'm sure, from rake leafing. I'm sure there's some stories you can tell and some stories you can't tell, but the idea is to give back to your community, of course. So Andrew, it's been a pleasure. Anything else?
We actually do have a Scully's. We'll meet tomorrow to kick it off.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where's it at tomorrow? It's on the calendar.
I forgot the name, but Mr. Underwood just told us about it today.
Okay, so you just found out today. So you're going somewhere tomorrow to kick off the season.
Yep.
So, but it's off and running though. So I wish you nothing but the best there.
Thank you.
Awesome. That'll do it for another week on the 393 Legacy, a Guerrilla podcast. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you back next week.